Today I want to welcome you to a Wednesday, the first day of my vlog for 2023. And I want to go over an unexpected gift that I got. So my mom had gotten me another Christmas gift and it hadn't come in yet. And so when I went and saw her on Monday, I got it. So I'm so excited. So these were on my list last year and I didn't get them. And I ended up not getting them for myself with the gift card that I had. I'd gotten some other things instead. But my favorite duology ever. So I can't say my favorite series or some of those kind of things. Oh, here we go. Hello. Walter decided he wants the chair. So let's do a little adjusting here so you can still see me. Alright, so my favorite duology of the year. I can't say my favorite series because I have some 5 book series and some others that I really like that maybe are a little better than this one. But my favorite duology, 2 of my favorite characters, definitely one of my most favorite characters ever. And that is the Six of Crows duology, and it's the limited collection editions. So excited. So I'm sure most people have seen these ones before, but Six of Crows, and it's got the sprayed edges on them and the really cool design back here. And I was kind of peeking at the back and they have some amazing artwork in here too. So we got Matthias and Nina, no mourners, no funerals, with the crows there. Okay, and then my 2 favorite characters of the entire duology, probably the whole Shadow and Bone series just in general, Kaz and Inej. I'm like, how can you not like Kaz Brecker? Oh my gosh, one of my favorite characters ever. Yep. Jesper and Wylan, I do really like them as well. I really like Jesper. Wylan took a little while. He was a little whiny, I feel, at the beginning, but he's grown on me. I do like him more now. Oh wow, the map at the back of this too. Oh my gosh. Yeah, the Grishaverse. I like. Come on, with the maps and everything in here. Oh man, the chapter headings too. I cannot wait to do a reread of this book. Oh, just so much. Oh, another map. I am so excited. Oh. He literally just kicked me in the back. He's like, yeah, my chair. Yeah, so that really soft, fuzzy blanket I got for Christmas, yeah, I just had it sitting on my chair because I hadn't had a chance to find a place to put it yet. And Walter decided that, no, that was his blanket now. And so he's just been sitting on it every day, and I haven't had a chance to take it off the chair. So, Crooked Kingdom, and oh my gosh, black is my absolute favorite color. And then, oh, this. Oh, it's just amazing. The maps. Oh, such a good job. Yeah. So nice. Haven't really had a chance to, I just opened these this morning. Well, took them out of the plastic because they were in a plastic. Ooh. They have the cast characters in here as well as a pronunciation guide, which is nice, because some of those words aren't always super easy to pronounce, especially if you're not used to any foreign languages. Oh, there you go. I was hoping there's going to be more artwork. Kaz and Inej. Oh, it's just their relationship. I love it. Nina and Matthias. I'm surprised there should be a picture of waffles. Waffles and strawberries. I am so excited. gonna look so nice on my shelf back here. I actually already took a couple things out and moved them up higher. So I moved The Girl Who Drank the Moon and the 12 Strange Days of Christmas. This is an interesting little book of short stories. It's actually really cute. There's a couple of them in there that actually kind of relate to each other. They have some of the same characters and storyline, which is kind of fun. But I think there's multiple books in that series as well. But yeah, so they're just gonna look so nice on my shelf back here, along with my Atlas Paradox and my Atlas 6. And the other book I had, yeah, here's this big hole here. The other book I had on my Christmas list that I didn't get was the prequel to Priory of the Orange Tree. So that one I'm going to have to save up for so I can get, because I love that book as well. So I'm very excited to get the other one. And I realized I had never given you an update on our bathtub. So let's go take a look real quick. So we did finish getting everything for the bathtub, and we still have that shelf over there we need to put up, but that'll be later. We got our glitter paint and we got our pictures up finally, so I'm very excited about those. I got some fairy lights put up, and we had the 3 walls all painted black, although that looks a little blue in the light. But we had the ceiling was white, and so we finally decided to paint the ceiling black, so I did that this week. We also painted the wall in our bedroom green, as well as 2 of the walls in our bathroom, in our laundry room, kind of a really light sage green. It's really pretty. So our faucet's kind of cool. It's this full width, which is amazing, and it holds our candle, and it fills up the tub really fast. So this was actually a closet in here, and we took it out to use for our bathtub. Still need a Murphy bed in here. We're still looking, but we're finding some really neat ones. Ones that have desks on the front, some that have couches on the front. So now we just got to figure out what we want to do, which direction we want to go. And then Walter is down here ready to play. So anyway, we're gonna go through my day as during this week. I need to do some food prep for Walter because I make his food, and then I need to go to the library and pick up a book that came in. So for the Full Moon Book Club, we're reading Jackal, and I didn't have it and I couldn't really find it in my online library stuff with Hoopla or anything. So I reserved that from the library, and that came in. I need to pick it up by tomorrow. So I will take you along with me today. I need to start reading the Jackal, and I feel like I'm way behind on all of my books that I need to read for all these read-alongs I'm part of, and I keep trying to read those books instead of my TBR, so I need to make sure I get to my TBR as well. And I keep forgetting that at least three of the books I'm reading are for January and February, but there was one with the book clubs, but there's one that was supposed to be December, January. That one's The Eye of the World. I'm halfway through that one. But the one for Malazan, I thought the first book started in January. It actually started in December. So I did finish that book, but now I still need to read, I need to read the second book in Malazan, Book of the Fallen. And that was unexpected, so that's another book that I want to add to my TBR. But I need to get Lolita read because that one's actually on my TBR. So yeah, I also need to get my baking time scheduled for my non-reading prompt with my mom, because I'm going to make the kransekaka from Paul Hollywood from the Great British Baking Show, and my mom is the one that got me the pans for that, so I wanted her to come over and then we can make it together. So hopefully that'll happen in the next week or two, at least before January ends, before February starts. But I may just have to make that one on my own. We'll see what her schedule looks like. So I will catch you after lunch when I head to the library and pick up my book. heading to the library. So I'll have to do a couple other errands while I'm out. And then head back home to start the Jackal. I am hoping to be able to get 100 pages read today, but it is my mother-in-law's birthday, so we may be going out to dinner with them, so that may not be possible, but here's hoping. Okay, catch you at the library. So I made it back from the library. I got Jackal by Aaron E. Adams. So very excited to start that one. But I also realized while I was in there that, so the audiobook I had of Lord of Shadows, which I'm reading for the Shadowhunter read along, it stopped at chapter 29, and when it ended, I was just like, this, I feel like there's something missing. There's a chapter missing, an epilogue, something. So I went in and I found the Lord of Shadows, and yes, I am definitely missing missing almost this much of the book. So I checked that one out, and so my plans are going to change a little bit. I will probably finish that one before I start the Jackal. Let's go do a couple more errands. I got to get some groceries and fill some water, and I will see you back at home. Alright, so I'm on the last chapter of Lord of Shadows. So we'll see if I can get that finished in the next hour. So chapter 29, Ultima Thule. Actually, the print's pretty big in here. It's a pretty thick book, but the font's fairly large and the margins are pretty good size. So here we go. Got my little chocolate. Hue, great brand. They're salty, so good. Wow. So many thoughts and feelings about this last chapter. Oh my gosh. I have no words. Well, especially since most everything would be spoilers if you haven't read it, but what? So I feel like Cassandra Clare's writing has gotten better each time she writes. And I think this is one of my favorite books of hers so far. Yeah, she has no qualms about who stays and goes, what happens to people. Like, she's just gonna give it to you no matter what. Kind of noticed that first in Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy. The last chapter in that book also was just like, what? So she has no problems with killing off characters or starting a war or having people hurt and heartbroken and things like that, which is probably one of the things that makes her stories so believable. I know. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But yes, so The Lord of Shadows. I highly recommend this series, The Dark Artifices. Oh my gosh. So good. Such a good book. And I mean, it was a good book up to chapter 28 when I finished my audiobook. Oh my gosh, that last chapter. I mean, that basically bumps it up a full star for me. At least half a star. Like if I was thinking it was a 3.5, which no, it's a 4, absolutely a 4. But this is 4.5, 5 star after that last chapter. I'm thinking I'll have to run it through Compile to see what it comes out as, but wow. Yes, highly recommend. All right, well, I need to get ready and feed the dog, maybe take him on a little walk, and then either start some dinner or see if we are going to take my mother-in-law out for her birthday. So I will catch you tomorrow. All right, so it's Wednesday again, and we had snow off and on all day yesterday. It was so nice. It was just beautiful outside. So updates. So I read Lolita by Vladimir Nabokov, and I have really mixed feelings about this book. So on the one hand, I was super excited to find out Jeremy Irons was narrator for the audiobook. That was amazing. So on the one hand, it is very well written. I think if the content had been a little different, it would have been a 4-star, hands down. There was some comedy in it, so some humor. There was a plot and a storyline. The characters were fairly well developed. So the writing style was really good. It was easy to read. It was or easy to listen to. In my case, with the audiobook. And there was humor, and it was, interesting, but I could not get past the content of the book. So what the actual storyline was, it was really difficult. So I love going into books blind. I never check trigger warnings. I don't check synopsis to see what they are or anything like that. I just like to go in and see what happens. Sometimes I hear what a book is about through YouTubers and other things like that, and I get a basic synopsis, but I usually like going in and just making up my own mind about books as I'm reading them. This is one book where I wish I would have looked at something before I read it. Basically, this is a fictional book that is styled as a memoir of a pedophile, has incest with his stepdaughter, and I could not get away from that, just the ick creep factor. Like I just felt dirty reading this book. I can see why it's classic. I see why people not enjoy the book, appreciate the writing style and everything. I'm sure it was not easy to write. It gives a little sneak peek into maybe why someone is the way they are, but it was so hard to read. I ended up listening to it on two times speed just to help get through the book. I mean, I could still understand all the words. It was still easy to listen to. 3 times speed was a little too fast, but then there was no option between 2 and 3. So if I could have had a 2 1/4, I probably would have done that. So I did get through the book fairly quickly, and it's around a 300-page book, so it's not super long, but it was difficult. I struggled. I almost DNF'd it, but I don't like DNFing books. So my sister was an English lit major and history, and so she teaches both. She's a teacher, so she teaches both English and history. And I asked her, I was like, so did you read this book? She's like, a long time ago. I don't really remember a whole lot about it. I don't remember necessarily liking it that much, and she liked the movie even less. And I was like, oh my gosh, there's a movie. I can't. My fragile psyche can't handle that. Yeah, big no for me. I would have given it a 1 star, but the writing style actually was really done really well. There was character development, and I mean, it was a well-written book, so I couldn't give it a 1, but I did give it a 2. It just was not for me. So what else have I been reading? So after that, I went into The Color of Magic by Terry Pratchett. That just seemed like it was the best book to read after that. It was fantastical, it was magical, it was nonsensical. It gave me Alice in Wonderland vibes, Color of Magic. It was just so cute. So my husband and I had watched The Color of Magic on TV when the movie came out, not knowing anything about Terry Pratchett or Discworld or anything like that. But Sean, what is his name, Walter? But one of my favorite actors is in the movie, so I had to watch it. And it was really cute. We were like, this is so weird. What is this? What are we watching? The world is a turtle? What the? So that was just what I needed after reading Lolita. Thoroughly enjoyed Discworld. It's... knowing I had seen the movie, so I knew going into it that I didn't need to understand anything that was going on. Just jump in and enjoy the ride and have fun with it, and that's what I did, and it was great. I loved it. I haven't put it through Copile yet, but I'm sure it'll get a 4-star. And so the next book that I'm reading this week before I wrap things up is Conscious Capitalism. So a company that I worked for not too long ago was really big in, or still is really big in, the conscious capitalism movement. My husband actually still works there. And I also read the Container Store book, so Uncontainable, is that, I think that's what it was called. I read that last year or 2 years ago. It might have been 2020. Might have been 3 years ago. Oh my gosh, I think I read it in 2020. But it's really interesting. I like the point of view that they're coming from. So it's not just capitalism. So it's not just everybody out to make money and screw everybody else. It's about how can we actually help people and still make a profit. So making a profit is secondary to helping people and enriching other people's lives. So of course it's written by the founder of Whole Foods, and it talks about a bunch of the other stores and companies that are also part of the conscious capitalism movement, where it's all about let's help other people, and if we can make a profit, then that's awesome too. So it shouldn't be just about... I think I'm getting kicked out of my chair again. The sun came out, and sorry about the lighting. Sun came out and is glaring off of everything, my glasses, and yeah. But the premise of this book is amazing. I'm not very far into it. I'm only on page 60, just kind of in the middle of chapter 4. But so far, I think there's a lot of good business practices in here, but there's also a lot of good life practices that you can just apply to your own life and the things that you do, and also just not be afraid to make money off of doing something you love doing, but don't exploit people on the way. So interesting. I'm liking it. I've finished actually quite a few books so far. So Lord of Shadows, you saw me kind of have my reaction to that final chapter. Now that I've had some time to think about it, let the book simmer a bit. Yeah, I think it's one of Cassandra Clare's best books yet. So I think she's really grown in her character development and the world building, the atmosphere, plot twists and reveals. Like, oh my gosh, that last chapter is just right in the feels. She does fall back on tropes that she always uses. Yeah, there's always some kind of love triangle. There's always teenage angst and things like that. But I feel like she's actually had her characters grow. She's introduced some really good new characters. So it's just like life. When you think you have it all figured out, some kind of curveball comes in and throws you for a loop, and now what are you going to do? The Dark Artifices, highly recommend. Highly recommend. It's a good read. It was a 5-star read for me. It was a low 5-star, so somewhere between like 4 3/4 and 5 1/4 star in there, so it's kind of right at 5-star. Highly recommend it. I am off to work on some more house projects, get some ribs in the crock pot, and get started on my day. So I will see you again later. Hi, I wanted to wrap up this vlog, and to start with, my mom came over and helped me do my non-reading prompt of making the crowns of cacao while we watched the Great British Baking Show, and came out pretty good. We broke a couple pieces. I will also add a picture of what the finished one looked like. I let her take a bunch of it home, so it was probably about this tall. And it's super cute. So it's basically a Norwegian wedding cake. And you can do a whole bunch of different flavors, but it's an almond flour base with egg whites, pretty much. And then it's like a royal icing that goes over the top. And it was really fun. It's interesting. I think it'd be fun to play around with the flavors a bit. I've also seen it done upside down, so instead of looking like a little Christmas tree, you could do it upside down and looks kind of like a cornucopia, and then you could fill it with stuff because it's hollow on the inside. But yeah, it was super fun, and I'd love to play around the flavors a little bit more. It was basically just the almond flour, almond extract, and egg whites and powdered sugar is basically the whole recipe, but it'd be fun to try lemon extract in there. I think the lemon would be a good flavor for it. You could also try a chocolate, or if you want to play flavors with the icing, so it's basically a powdered sugar icing with egg whites, so that's royal icing. And you could do maybe a chocolate drizzle for part of it, and the regular royal icing for part of it, or the lemon, or I think this would be a really good lemon poppy seed kind of flavor. Be tasty. I also want to do a quick wrap up of some of the books that I was reading this week. So I am about 80% of the way through Dead House Gates, which is the second book in the Malazan Book of the Fallen series. And I'm really liking this one. I'm listening to it on audiobook. I think I would like to go back and get an actual physical book of the series. I think I would get a lot more out of it than just the audiobook, because I'm still kind of getting a little confused on some of the characters, and I feel like I'm a little behind, so I'm kind of listening to it a little faster than I think I normally would. So yeah, I think I would definitely want to do a reread of that book, maybe next year. Not sure. So I did finish Conscious Capitalism, and it was good. It was really interesting. I think some of it is outdated, especially some of the companies they mentioned that are still doing conscious capitalism. I think some of them may have moved a little beyond that and are a little bit more profit focused than they are on people focused. But this was a good book. I did really enjoy that one. I am also still reading A Sword of Kaigen, taking my time on that one. If I don't finish it this month, I'm okay with that because I just want to enjoy it. I did finish Lord of Shadows, which you will have seen earlier this week, and I loved that one. That was a great book. I can't wait to get into the third book on that one. And then I also finished Jackal, which was so good. So the pacing, I think, was decent. There were some slow spots. The intrigue was definitely there. It was I was like second guessing myself the whole time and trying to figure it out. And I'm like, oh, just read, just enjoy. And I'm like, but then my brain kept going, well, maybe it was this person. It could have been this. Maybe it was this way. It was really good. Had a good twist on the ending. There was some parts of it were not, I wouldn't say cheesy at all, but maybe a little convenient. 4.5 stars. It was just shy of 5 stars for me, but that was really good. And then I'm also still reading, I started Dragon Mage, and that one's for my Amazon borrows, which technically I don't necessarily need to do that one because Gardens of the Moon, it was an Amazon borrow, and I read that for another prompt, so I could have doubled up on that one, so I may do that one because Dragon Mage is an 800-page book. I have a lot of 600 to 800 page books on my TBR, so I already know I'm not going to finish, but neither here nor there. But we had snow this week. It was really fun. It's always nice to wake up to a dusting of snow outside. I finished painting the bathroom, so we did black on the ceiling, so I did finish painting that, and we got some pictures hung as well. So that's all I got for you, and I will see you next week with my February TBR, as well as my January wrap-up, my reading journal plan with me, and that's kind of an ambitious week. Especially since today was basically just hanging out with my mom and just playing around. We started a little journal for her, and she was playing around getting that set up as we were making the kranzkaka. So yeah, it was a fun day. It was a great day with her family. Thanks so much for hanging out with me this week, and I hope we are able to do it again sometime soon. And please like, comment, and subscribe if you want to, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss anything from me. And as always, I will see you in the comments. Bye.